Okay, Race Squad Pro is a fantastic membership for anyone who wants more personalized guidance and education and support for their running training and races. We have everything from the community membership with all of the education and interviews and other bits and pieces that we've mentioned in the membership before, the community membership, but also you're going to have a whole lot of more personalized services. So we'll kick it off with the communication. So I will be your private running coach. That means that we'll be in at least weekly contact via WhatsApp, but we can also arrange phone calls, Zoom calls, and I'll be utilizing your run data to basically find out how things are going and check whether you're on track, or if you've had a bad experience. We can dive into the run data and check why. We can look at how races went, how your trainings have gone, especially those long runs. If you've not managed to hit the speeds that we've suggested, then we can find out why, whether it's the program that's the problem, or the session plan that you were prescribed, or whether it's more to do with the environment or your specific situation on the day. And these can be really also useful for if you catch a cold, you need to take some time off. Your plan is progressing, and it's assuming that you're not ill or injured. In that sort of situation, if you wake up with a sore throat, we need to discuss whether you need to take some time off running to recover. What you should be doing during that time, whether there is anything you should be doing, or whether you should literally just be in bed. But obviously, when you get back to a state where you can take yourself for a walk and maybe even a run, then we'll be back in communication about what that first session should look like. What sort of speed you should aim for, what duration, and once you've done a run, then we'll look at how it went and whether we can then look at progressing you, or whether we should consolidate that same session again. And that'll be the process until we get you back to consistency. Hopefully it won't take long. If you've only been out for a week, it doesn't actually take a lot. But if you've had a longer break, then the plan will park for a while until we get you back to consistent, pain-free running, feeling good again, before we start bringing you back into your session plans. Obviously, when it is time to get back into those session plans, they'll be updated. So let's talk about the program. The program will be prescribed via an app. The app is called Training Tilt. It is purpose-built for endurance coaches, triathlon and running coaches. It can also do injury prevention, S&C, plyometrics, everything we need it for. But first and foremost, prescribing your runs, the distances that go into the runs, especially those long runs, will be based on what you're working towards and what you've done recently. So I'll be asking, before we get the program set up, what's the longest run you've done recently? What's the latest race you've done or time trial result you've got? And what are the events that you're planning towards? What holidays could impact your training over the next 4 months? Because all of that stuff could impact your ability to follow a plan, and the plan needs to take that into consideration as soon as possible. It'll also help us figure out which of your goals are achievable, or what it's going to take to achieve them. So if you're saying you want to do a marathon and maybe you've only run 5K recently, and you've got 4 months, well, I can literally show you on a spreadsheet what the build-up of your long-distance runs are going to have to look like in order for you to get to a marathon, and then we can have a chat about whether you think that's realistic or not, given the restrictions on your life and what you've done previously as well, right? So there's a lot of communication that will go into building out your plan and making sure that it fits you like a glove. The speeds are really important. This new app that I'm using offers speed ranges, so it's not just a single speed that we're aiming for. It is, you aim for the top speed if you have perfect conditions, right? There's no wind, mild temperatures, nice terrain, fairly flat, and you're in a good state yourself. You're not hungover, you're not tired, you're not stressed, you're not sore. You might aim for that higher end of the speed range. But if any of those other factors apply, then we'll be talking about how you're going to, target a lower speed. And as I've mentioned in my pieces about pacing, race pacing, pacing and training is going to be just as important. But the great thing about this new platform, Training Tilt, is that it enables you to sync your runs directly to your Garmin watch. I mean, this is game changing, right? So imagine you've shown up for a Thursday night club run or a Sunday morning long run. You go to click to start a run, and it will suggest, would you like to do your session from your plan? And you just click yes, please, and it'll start guiding you through that. So really clever the way technology is moving forward. This is far beyond the realms of what we used to be able to offer. It also integrates with Strava as well, so I can actually pull your Strava data into Training Tilt and see how things have been going. And the platform is continually improving. There's new features. I've just had a look at what they've got planned for the future, so it's really exciting to see what I'm going to be able to offer members of the Race Squad Pro and the VIP membership that I'll talk about soon. Race strategy calls, another huge one. Okay, so we've talked about these in the community membership, in that we'll have recordings of people's race strategy calls, but pro members actually get one-to-one race strategy calls. So we will bring up the event that you're planning to race, and we'll look at the hill profile. We'll look at your training building up to that event, and actually come to a conclusion as to what pacing strategy you should be aiming for, what speed you should be aiming for, what speed kind of range to be aiming for, and at least the first half of the race. If we're really confident, if training's been going really well, we might be aiming to hit bang on that target pace right from the start of the race, so that we're looking to even split the race. Okay, if everything's going to plan, that will absolutely be my aim. If we're a bit unsure about the weather and what other bits there are involved, then we'll be looking for a negative split. But what we will certainly be doing is ensuring that you are not positive splitting your races and all your runs. So race strategy calls, fantastic. We book those in the week, to take place in the week before the race, so we can get an idea of what the weather's going to be like as well. Injury prevention session plans will also be provided via Training Tilt. So something I'll be asking before we get the program set up is do you have any niggles? What's your injury history? Do we have any weaknesses there that we need to account for? Because all of this stuff can impact how aggressive we can be with your program. If there's no injury risk and you're doing injury prevention, you've been doing injury prevention exercises or strength related exercises for some months, then we can push the progress of your run session plans faster than if you've never done any injury prevention at all. But at least if you're starting to do some injury prevention, then obviously we get into that process. And in the future, once you've got a few weeks under the belt of some key exercises that are going to prevent ankle sprains, calf strains, knee pains, hip pains, then we can start to ramp up the speed of progress in the second, third, and fourth month of your program. So injury prevention session plans are brilliant, and they can include muscle release work, so to release tension from the muscles. As we know, muscle tension leads to pain at the joint because the muscle attaches into the joint, and if it's tight, then it's going to pull on that joint each time your foot hits the ground, and that's what leads to most injuries. Balance, single leg balance will incorporate some of that, because we don't want you to be rolling your ankle, or if you do go over on your ankle, maybe on a curve or a route or a raised paver, we want that ankle to snap back into a safe position as soon as possible. Okay, so we have standards that we like to get everyone to hit with their ankle stability to ensure that we know that if they go over on it, that it's not going to actually cause a damage. Strength and flexibility can also be included there as well. So we'll look at which muscles need to be lengthened and which need to be strengthened, and which need both, to make sure that they are going to look after you as well as possible when you're running. They are absorbing your body weight, under the force of gravity over and over and over again, and we know that can take a toll if the muscles are not conditioned to do it. Flip side of this is performance training. So we also offer session plans with exercises that are aimed at improving your performance, and not just reducing injury, but making you faster. So there'll be more explosive exercises depending on your background with strength exercises. They could be relatively simple, relatively low weight. And by the way, all these exercises can be done at home. That you don't need to have a gym. But if you've got a gym membership or you've got equipment at home, then we can add resistance to a lot of exercises as well. So this is very flexible in regards to what we can do with the injury prevention and the performance programs that are offered. But performance conditioning programs can be as aggressive. If you've got a really good base of strength, we can do plyometric training. So jumping and really stuff that's going to make you lift your top speed and lift the cap on your potential a lot higher than if you're just doing basic squats and deadlifts and things. Another option, if you are really into your gym, is that we can incorporate S&C, so actually Olympic lifting exercises. There's videos for all of this. And if we need to do a one-to-one session, that will come at an additional cost to teach the techniques of that, but it can all be done, and if you've done any Olympic lifting, you'll know the benefits that it can have for your running, and especially your power, your shorter distance speed. But at the end of the day, the stronger you are, the easier it is for your body to catch your body weight, and the easier it is for you to use a good technique to go through a bigger range of motion, to take longer, stronger strides, as opposed to a really short, shuffly stride, which is what you'll find with a lot of inexperienced runners that haven't done much strength work. Race Squad Pro members will also gain access to our Expert Runner Transformation course. Okay, so this has loads of workshops that we've delivered over the years with the club physio, so knee pain, hip pain, how to use your glutes properly to run, how to prevent back pain, how to prevent shin pain, how to look after your feet, every area that is commonly stressed by running. We've put workshops on, recorded them, so you can watch these to really learn how to prevent problems in those areas. We want every joint in your body to be surrounded by muscles that are supple and strong. Okay, so these workshops will talk you through it, and when we've got the club physio involved, she'll actually talk you through the anatomy, which may sound boring, but actually she relates it to running really well, and we relate it all back to running technique as well. So how you hold yourself while you run in order to reduce stress on the area that we're discussing in that particular workshop. Also within the Expert Runner Transformation course are walkthrough videos. So we've recorded loads of those, or I recorded lots of those through lockdowns, when we were doing lots of Zoom workshops, and it was basically me, maybe for example, rolling my quadriceps muscle, releasing tension in the front thigh and therefore reducing the stress on the knee. And basically I was talking to the club members who were on Zoom and guiding them through it. So everyone had their own foam roller and they were following along. So I was basically treating the session as a workout. Let's do this together. So if you were to follow that particular video that I've recorded, you would spend the correct amount of time on the foam roller for that particular muscle group to release as much tension as possible in that given amount of time. This is much better than, for example, what a lot of people will do is just jump on and get off when it hurts. In the video I will actually describe how to position yourself to not make the massage too intense, so that it's still effective, and in fact more effective than what you'll get if you follow a standard YouTube video on foam rolling, because we're using advanced techniques. But also, I'll discuss a lot about how to make it more intense and less intense, when to move the roller or move your body on the roller, so that you're getting the best benefit and that the muscle is systematically being released of tension. We'll also have the same types of walkthrough videos or follow along videos for stretching, so advanced flexibility techniques. So sticking with the quadriceps muscle, that front thigh, I'll show you how to get into the stretch correctly, how to make sure that we start off with a really low intensity stretch, and then how to gradually increase that as the muscle releases tension, but also some advanced techniques for basically tricking the brain into releasing more tension from the muscle. So really advanced stuff that you can learn through this online learning platform. There'll also be videos on how to follow your program effectively, how to know which target speed to pick, because again we're giving that range of paces. So it's really important that you know how to follow your program really well, and the platform will offer videos on that. What else we got? How to plan your training. So you may not want to be a Race Squad Pro member forever. One day you might want to just know everything that you need to know because you're a motivated individual. You don't need the accountability, but you want to learn as much as possible. So you want to know how to progress your own training. You want to know how to plan your calendar of races so that they don't clash with each other and negatively impact on one another. Obviously, you're not going to put two events on the same day, but if you put, say, a 10k race before the weekend before a marathon, or even a half marathon the weekend before a full marathon, there's going to be a negative impact on one of those events depending on which one you prioritize. So we talk through all of that in video lectures. Technique feedback videos. Imagine we ask you to record yourself running towards the camera and running side on to the camera, and you send that to me on WhatsApp. So it's only a couple of 5-second clips, but then I will do a talk over video, basically pausing the video and talking about the positions that you're in and different phases of the run, and what's the posture looking like, what we need to fix, and what could be causing any niggles that you've had or that you're currently experiencing, or what you could be setting yourself up for if you're landing in a particular way. So that by the end of each video, you've then got 2 or 3 technique cues to really focus on while you're doing your runs, whether that's with the club or by yourself. And we do that once a month, just to constantly looking at improving your running technique so it's more efficient, less likely to cause injury, and more, lifting your potential to run faster, right? Because if you can make your technique more athletic, then you lift your ability to finish with a sprint or to surge past someone into a headwind. Now we'll also have a pro community chat group. So this will be a small chat group. I'm not sure, it'll either be WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, but the point is it's really aimed at supporting those pro members with their program and really the pro features of the account. So it won't be for posting general videos that we've recorded for the entire community. It will be very specific to the pro members, but also a good place for celebrating wins, right? I think it will be a tighter group. Obviously it's not going to be as big as the community group, but that in itself brings a bit more personalization to the community as well. Everyone will be introducing themselves, what their goals are for the coming months, and what motivates them, and a lot more closer relationships will be built through that particular chat group than a big Facebook community. So that's the Pro Squad membership, Race Squad Pro membership. Lots there, and new features will be available as we think of them and as members suggest them. As you can see, this membership is a lot more personalized than the community membership. It doesn't include face-to-face, in-person consultations on a regular basis. That's what the VIP membership's all about, but it still offers a lot of guidance and communication thanks to technology, with video, text, email, Zoom. There's so many ways to support members on the Pro membership. It's a great one for people who are in Cheltenham but also outside of Cheltenham. So that's the Race Squad Pro membership. I think it's fantastic, and I hope you are interested. If you'd like to talk about it, let me know. Otherwise, get yourself signed up.